In today's lesson, we'll be taking a look at Elle Woods and the effortless main character energy she carries wherever she goes. If you haven't seen Legally Blonde, Elle Woods is the movie's main character. At first, she is introduced as a stylish, cheerful girl, but after her boyfriend ends their relationship because he believes he needs someone more serious, Elle decides to attend Harvard Law School. Throughout the movie, she works to prove that she is far more than the stereotype people place on her. Even though she is constantly judged and underestimated because of her appearance, personality, and background, she ends up thriving academically and even uses her unique perspective to solve a major legal case. The thing I admire most about Elle is her confidence in herself. Time and time again, people assume she isn't capable simply because she is blonde, fashionable, and naturally bubbly. Her classmate and professor question whether she even belongs in such a competitive environment. Many expect her to fall and quit. Instead, Elle keeps believing in herself, put in the work, and prove every single of them wrong. And that's exactly the lesson for today's video. Your self belief is your most valuable currency. Although Legally Blonde is a fun and light-hearted movie, I think the message is incredibly empowering. You are never limited by the labels other people place on you. Your value isn't determined by someone else's opinion, and your future isn't defined by the assumption people make. We have talked before about how every main character faces obstacle. The challenges they overcome are what makes their story meaningful. But sometimes the biggest obstacle isn't other people. Sometimes it's the own voice inside our head. There's a saying that you can either become your biggest supporter or your biggest critic. And that choice often comes down to your stories you repeatedly tell yourself. Those thoughts can either push you forward or quietly hold you back. Growing up, many of us are taught to be realistic. And yes, there are situations where that's important, but almost every person who has achieved something extraordinary once had a dream that someone else thought was unrealistic. When you are just beginning something new, you usually don't have experience, proof, or result that guarantee you will succeed. The only thing you really have is hope, determination, and the willingness to keep showing up. When I first started YouTube, I had absolutely no background in content creation. I studied healthcare. It was more different from what I do now. None of my friends and family worked in this same space either. So I didn't have anyone around me showing that this path was possible. I was also too nervous to tell everyone I had started a channel. Part of it was because I was shy, and another part was because I wasn't even sure whether I did stick with it long term. The only thing I truly had was optimism, the belief that maybe this could become something meaningful, something I genuinely enjoy, and maybe even something that could help other people. I share this because sometimes optimism is all you have in the beginning. Nothing around you seems to confirm that your dream will work out. Choose to believe in yourself anyway. Some people might call it unrealistic, others might even call it delusional. But the truth is, nobody knows your potential better than you do. And often you don't fully discover what you are capable of until you give yourself the opportunity to try. Of course, ignoring other people's opinion isn't always easy, but it becomes a little easier when you remember one simple thing. Opinions are not facts. People will always have something to say about the choices you make, and they are allowed to have those opinions. That's just a part of life. But someone believing you can't do something doesn't make it true. In Legally Blonde, nearly everyone assumed Elle would struggle through law college because they judged her based on appearance. She refused to let those assumptions become her reality. And in the same way, you shouldn't allow someone else's expectation to become limit on your own life. Personally, I prefer keeping my goals to myself until you are a little more established. I haven't told many people about my YouTube channel yet. I'm still figuring things out, learning as I go, and building it one video at a time. The reason was simple. I wanted to give myself a fair chance before letting other people's doubt affect me. So if there's one thing I hope you take away from today's episode is believe in yourself even before anyone else does. Because your confidence in yourself may end up being the very thing that changes your life. Thank you so much for watching and spending your time with me today. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, as always, stay hot. Bye.